Thank you so much to our wonderful science presenters. We would now like to open the floor for any of the participants that may have questions for them. And feel free to come off of mute, introduce yourself, and specifically state who the question is for and what the question is. No one has a question? Okay, well, I do.
Hello.
Oh, go ahead, Lauren, please.
Hi, my name is Lauren Beals, and I am an aspiring pediatrician, and I would like to know, like specifically for I'm sorry, I do not remember your name, but I believe you are a pharmacist and you graduated from Xavier University, and I would like to know how you decided on that specific school.
Sure. So thank you so much for asking that question. So I knew I am originally from Chicago, and so I knew that I wanted to go to school in the South. So first, I kind of decided on a geographical region, and then I did a lot of research on what would best suit me in terms of getting me prepared to pharmacy school because I knew it was an application process. Or if I changed my mind and decided that I didn't want to be a pharmacist and wanted to go into a different avenue of healthcare, what school would fit my needs best? So I chose Xavier University because of the reputation that it had and continues to have with connecting minorities in particular with the health sciences fields. So I knew whether I wanted to go on to be a physician or if I wanted to continue on as a pharmacist, this would be a great program for me. I was also, again, excited about the region that I wanted to be in. I was wanting to leave cold weather behind in Chicago. And then I wanted to be at a HBCU. So being a part of that community was also important to me. And so I looked at where I want to be geographically, what do I want from a school or program socially, and what do I want from a school or program academically. And Xavier fit all of the criteria for me.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, we have one more brief video that we would like to show you all, and then if we still have time for questions, we will do so.
Hello, I'm Vanessa White, Director of NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. I'm a native of South Carolina and alumna of Clemson University. I earned 2 engineering degrees at Clemson, a Bachelor of Science in Engineering and a Master of Science in Bioengineering. At NASA, I work with engineers, scientists, and many other STEM professionals to lead human space exploration for the United States. NASA is working to land American astronauts, including the first woman and first person of color on the moon, through the Artemis program. We will go to the moon in a way we have never gone before, with innovative new partnerships, technologies, and systems to study and explore more of the lunar surface than ever before. Then we will use what we learn to take the next giant leap, sending astronauts to Mars. Exploration helps us learn. What we learn can help make the world a better place. As a young child, I was interested in how things worked. I asked a lot of questions and literally took things apart. My father and mother were both educators in South Carolina, and they encouraged me to do well in school. I did very well in math and science. My father was also a carpenter, and his father was a farmer. I followed my dad around a lot and learned how to do mechanical and electrical things from him. One of the biggest things that cemented my love for science was when my older brother received a chemistry set for Christmas one year. We did experiments in the backyard, and I was hooked. Unfortunately, in the time period that I was in junior high and high school, there weren't any advanced technology programs available in my school system. I learned everything that was available to me, and then I graduated a year early from high school and went on to college. I majored initially in biochemistry, but I wasn't excited about my field of choice. I knew I liked solving problems and analyzing things. I talked with my professors and my brother, who was majoring in engineering. They suggested I give engineering a try. I changed my major to engineering and found my true love. My degrees helped me pave the way for an exciting career. I've had lots of very different positions, starting as an engineer with the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, evaluating medical devices, to developing projects to perform biological studies on astronauts at NASA, to overseeing entire space shuttle missions as a flight manager, to leading an organization of scientists and engineers, developing plans for human missions to the Moon and Mars. All of these positions help prepare me for my current position as director of NASA's Johnson Space Center, where we are training astronauts to go into space to the International Space Station, partnering with SpaceX and Boeing to launch astronauts to the space station, and developing a new spacecraft called Orion and other systems and technologies to explore the moon and then take humans to Mars. If you're interested in science, technology, engineering, and math, find areas within your school to participate in STEM classes and find extracurricular activities in STEM. If your interest is in science, join a science club and be part of science competitions like science fairs. If your interest is in robotics and technology, look into clubs in that area. Further, I would advise you to meet with a person that works in your field of interest. Ask that person to be a mentor and go to work with them for a day. Most importantly, if being a STEM professional is your passion, go for it and don't let anyone discourage you from pursuing your dream. Learn more about NASA at nasa.gov/STEM. You are the Artemis generation.
Do we have any other questions? We still have time for a few more questions. So if any of the participants have questions for any of our science presenters, feel free to come off mute, introduce yourself, and ask the question to that presenter.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Ali Kadiri, and I currently want to be an orthopedic surgeon. My question was regarding outside, I guess outside the medical field. Did y'all have time to minor in anything else outside of what you were majoring in, if you did end up majoring in a science for the specific role in the medical field you wanted to go into? Or was there no time for any outside education, especially once you got to medical school? That's what I wanted to know.
Maybe Travis would like to answer that question.
Yes, sure. Could you clarify a little bit just so I understand what you're asking so I can direct it correctly? Are you saying minoring in undergrad, or are you saying kind of just, you're saying minoring in graduate school?
I meant minoring in undergrad, because I believe earlier you said that you just technically have to take the prerequisite classes. However, in the event that you decide in medical school that you want to go back and minor in something, do you think you'd have time for that? Or would that probably have to wait till after you finish medical school?
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so just speaking to the first part, minoring, I think is great if you're interested in something outside of just the sciences. I think that's amazing, and you should be able to, especially in undergrad, kind of attack that. In graduate school or medical school, it does take a lot of your time. So generally, they're usually taking most of your time, and sometimes schools have different electives and things like that. But if you do want to go back after you're done with your kind of coursework and get some extra, course credits, there are always continuing education courses and things like that if you want to kind of go into that realm of a different aspect of education. So does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
And Ali, to add to that, some medical programs, if you're interested in getting a master's in public health, offer you to get both of those degrees at the same time. So there may be some opportunity for you to double major as you go along. I know a lot of schools now are offering PharmD as well as MBA combined for an extra year of school. So that may be something that you're able to accomplish in undergrad prior to applying to medical school.
Thank you. I'll research that.
Were there any other questions? Chelsea, I had a question for you since you were one of the only person that wasn't asked a question. Can you tell me what has been the most difficult part of your training thus far?
My answer is going to be funny, but definitely pharmacology. And there's a lot of pharmacists on here. But definitely pharmacology, because it's just a lot of memorization. So it's just a lot of things thrown at you. So that was definitely a lot, because there's a short amount of time of when you have to like know the information. So I'll definitely say that. But like overall, balancing PA school with regular life has been a challenge since it's a fast-paced program. So just being like having time management and like making sure that you meet all the deadlines and then have fun has been a struggle.
Thank you so much. And right before we move into the next